Alright, let's be real, some of the best gaming experiences aren't always the big, flashy titles everyone's talking about. Sometimes it's the lesser known gems that really surprise you, the games that slipped past the hype but deliver on every level. Today I'm bringing you 15 great games that might have flown under your radar but are absolutely worth a playthrough. These aren't the typical blockbuster hits, but trust me, they've got something special. So let's dive in, because you might just find your next favorite game right here. The Council.
Lord Mortimer asked me to join him.
The Council is a hidden gem in the world of narrative-driven games, blending historical intrigue with a supernatural twist that feels fresh and unique. Released in 2018, it places you in the shoes of Louis de Richet, a young man invited to a mysterious island where powerful figures from across the globe, like George Washington and Napoleon Bonaparte, are gathered. But this isn't your typical mystery game. It's packed with conspiracies, cults, and powers that go way beyond what you'd expect from a historical setting. What makes the Council special is its RPG mechanics mixed into the narrative format. You don't just make choices, you level up skills like psychology, manipulation, and occultism, which impact how you navigate conversations and uncover secrets. Every choice has real weight, and how you build Louis's skills can drastically change the outcome of interactions, unlocking unique paths, and sometimes putting you in tough spots.
Please, be my guest, Mother.
The episodic structure keeps the suspense high, and the supernatural elements slowly weave into the story, adding layers of mystery that keep you guessing. It's not afraid to take risks with its story, and that makes the Council feel like a breath of fresh air for fans of narrative games who want something with a bit more depth and replayability. The Council may not have reached a massive audience, but for those who enjoy immersive storytelling with RPG twists, it's a game that deserves way more recognition. It's an ambitious, intelligent adventure that stands out from the crowd and offers a memorable experience for anyone willing to dive into its world of secrets and power plays.
And secrecy are both pillars of the organizations for which we work.
You know, Louis, I've only just now realized that I've been drawn here
To the Moon. To the Moon is one of those rare games that doesn't need complex mechanics or flashy graphics to make an impact. It's all about the story, and it hits hard. Released in 2011, this indie gem is a simple, narrative-driven experience where you play as two scientists who travel through the memories of a dying man named Johnny. Their job, to fulfill his final wish by altering his memories, even if it's only in his mind. The game unfolds as you dive deeper into Johnny's past, uncovering bits and pieces of his life, his love story, and the moments that shaped him. It's both heartwarming and heartbreaking, and the deeper you go, the more emotionally invested you become. The storytelling here is masterful. It doesn't rely on dialogue, heavy cutscenes, or big action sequences. Instead, it builds an emotional journey out of quiet, everyday memories, capturing the beauty and sorrow in life's small moments. The pixel art style adds a nostalgic charm. And the music, man, the music is something else. The soundtrack is hauntingly beautiful and perfectly matches the story's tone, enhancing every emotional beat in a way that few games manage to do. To the Moon is short and sweet, but it leaves a lasting impression. For anyone who appreciates a powerful, moving story, this is one game that shouldn't be missed. It's an emotional experience that reminds you of the impact a good story can have, and it's truly a hidden gem in the gaming world. Heaven's Vault.
I dig stuff up.
Heaven's Vault is a hidden gem for anyone who loves exploration, mystery, and language. Released in 2019, it's an archaeological adventure that follows Aaliyah, an archaeologist uncovering the lost history of an ancient civilization across a mysterious nebula. But this isn't your usual action-packed adventure. Heaven's Vault is about patience, discovery, and piecing together the past through language and artifacts. The heart of the game is its unique language mechanic. As Aaliyah, you decipher an ancient language word by word, making educated guesses and building your understanding slowly. Each phrase you translate brings you closer to understanding the people and culture that once inhabited this strange universe, making it feel like you're truly unraveling an ancient mystery. It's incredibly rewarding and feels genuinely immersive because your choices in translation shape how you interpret the story. The game's setting is equally fascinating, a mix of science fiction and ancient history. You're not just uncovering artifacts, you're sailing through rivers in space, visiting forgotten moons, and meeting characters who all have their own take on history and truth. The world feels alive and reactive, with choices that affect not just your journey, but how other characters perceive you and how the story unfolds. Heaven's Vault didn't make huge waves in the gaming world, but it's a thoughtful, intelligent experience for players who love the thrill of discovery and the beauty of language. It's a slow burn, but one that rewards curiosity and careful exploration, making it a truly unique and memorable experience.
But will the story I put together be the truth?
OxenFree. OxenFree is one of those indie gems that gets under your skin with its eerie atmosphere and brilliant storytelling. Released in 2016, it's a supernatural thriller where you play as Alex, a teenager who heads to an abandoned island with her friends for a night of fun, only to end up unlocking something far darker. What starts as a casual night of exploring turns into a twisted journey through time loops, ghostly encounters, and unsettling mysteries. The dialogue in OxenFree is a standout. It's natural, quick, and you're given real-time choices on how Alex responds to her friends, which shapes her relationships and how the story unfolds. It makes the characters feel real, like you're part of a friend group dealing with forces beyond their understanding, and the art style, with its minimalistic yet haunting visuals, creates this dreamy, unsettling vibe that perfectly matches the game's tone. One of the most unique aspects of OxenFree is the use of a radio. You tune into different frequencies to communicate with strange entities, unlock clues, and even alter reality. It's a mechanic that adds tension and a sense of dread, as you're never quite sure what you'll hear or what will happen next. The story dives into themes of grief, guilt, and forgiveness, giving the game a depth that's rare in horror-themed games. Forgotton Anne.
Be on your guard, man.
Forgotton Anne is a beautifully crafted game that feels like stepping into an animated movie. Released in 2018, it's set in the Forgotten Lands, a magical world where lost items, socks, lamps, toys come to life as Forgotlings, each with its own personality and backstory. You play as Anne, an enforcer tasked with keeping order in this world as she tries to uncover secrets about her own past and the true nature of the Forgotten Lands. The hand-drawn art style is stunning, with each scene looking like it's lifted straight out of a Studio Ghibli film. It's colorful, whimsical, and filled with charm, making every area you explore feel alive. The animation brings the world and its characters to life in a way that makes you want to stop and take in every detail, while the orchestral soundtrack elevates the experience even further, adding to the game's emotional depth.
Watch your step, little hawk.
What sets Forgotton Anne apart is its moral choices. You're constantly deciding how to treat the Forgotling, shaping Anne's path and how others perceive her. These choices aren't easy, and the game doesn't shy away from making you feel the weight of your decisions, especially as the story reveals layers about loyalty, sacrifice, and the desire to belong.
We belong in the real world with the humans.
I'm afraid you're the one running out of options, little hawk.
Stop!
Before your eyes.
I want to see exactly what made you so...
Before Your Eyes is an emotional journey like no other, using a unique mechanic that makes the story feel incredibly personal. Released in 2021, this narrative-driven game uses your real-life blinks to progress through the story, putting you right in the shoes of the main character, Benjamin, as you experience his memories and the pivotal moments of his life. It's a game about memory, love, regret, and the fleeting nature of time, and it hits you right in the feels. The blink mechanic is what makes Before Your Eyes so immersive and powerful. As you blink, you move forward through Ben's memories, sometimes skipping ahead even when you want to linger. It's a subtle, almost poetic way of showing how time slips away, making you feel the passage of moments and the bittersweet feeling of not being able to hold on to every one. It's interactive storytelling at its best, and it makes each memory feel precious.
I don't know what I'd do without old Benny.
The art style is simple yet beautiful, allowing the story and characters to shine. The voice acting and soundtrack are top-notch, adding depth and emotion to Ben's journey. It's a game that doesn't just tell a story, it makes you feel it, drawing you into Ben's life and making you reflect on your own memories and moments. Before Your Eyes may not have the massive recognition of other games, but it's an unforgettable experience for anyone who loves story-driven games that leave a lasting impact. It's intimate, heartfelt, and a true gem in the world of interactive storytelling, perfect for those looking for something unique and emotionally powerful.
Ready to come up here? That's just how this thing works.
Where the water tastes like wine. Where the Water Tastes Like Wine is an unusual, hauntingly beautiful game that celebrates storytelling itself. Released in 2018, it's a journey through Depression-era America, where you play as a drifter traveling the country, collecting and sharing stories with the people you meet. This isn't a game about fighting or high-stakes action, it's about exploring, listening, and gathering tales that reflect the hopes, hardships, and dreams of the era. The game structure is simple yet captivating. As you wander across the map, you encounter a cast of colorful characters, each with their own story to tell. The stories range from eerie folktales and ghostly encounters to tales of love, loss, and resilience. The more stories you collect, the more you can share with others, shaping your journey and the way characters open up to you. It's a unique, almost poetic approach that feels like you're uncovering fragments of a forgotten history. The art style is striking, with a hand-drawn, vintage quality that captures the mood of the time. The soundtrack, steeped in folk and blues, adds to the game's atmospheric, almost dreamlike quality. And the writing is phenomenal, with each tale feeling like a piece of Americana folklore, from the surreal to the deeply human. There's even voice work from well-known actors like Sting, adding depth to the characters you meet. Where the Water Tastes Like Wine isn't for everyone, it's slow, contemplative, and centered around the joy of storytelling rather than action. But for those who appreciate rich narratives and the power of words, it's a unique experience that leaves a lasting impression. It's one of those hidden gems that reminds you of the magic of a good story, making it a game well worth seeking out. Road 96.
Adventurer still looking for it.
Road 96 is a road trip adventure that's all about freedom, choices, and the thrill of the unknown. Released in 2021, it puts you in the shoes of a teenager on the run, trying to escape from a fictional authoritarian country. Each journey you take is procedurally generated, meaning every playthrough is a new experience with fresh encounters, unexpected events, and different outcomes. It's like a series of unpredictable road trips, each filled with unique characters and moments that make you feel like you're on an actual journey. What makes Road 96 special is how it combines narrative depth with player-driven decisions. Along the way, you meet a range of characters, rebels, truck drivers, law enforcers, and fellow teens, all with their own stories and motives. Your choices influence not only how these encounters play out, but also the broader story of the nation's struggle. The game doesn't shy away from tough topics, exploring themes like freedom, loyalty, and survival, but it does it in a way that feels personal and grounded.
Looking for someone called Zoe. John.
The visuals have a vibrant, stylized look that makes each landscape memorable, from dusty highways to quiet forests and bustling border crossings. And the soundtrack? It's filled with synth and indie vibes that perfectly capture the feeling of being on the open road, adding to the game's nostalgic, rebellious atmosphere. Road 96 is a hidden gem for anyone who loves narrative-rich games that give you the freedom to shape your own story. It's a journey that's emotional, immersive, and packed with moments that feel meaningful, even if you're just a kid trying to hitchhike your way to freedom. It's a game that stays with you long after you've crossed the border, capturing the essence of adventure and the power of choice in a way that few games manage to do.
Try something, Mr. President. If they do, I'll crush them once and for all.
Beyond Two Souls.
So tired.
Beyond Two Souls is a cinematic, emotionally driven game that explores life, death, and everything in between. Released in 2013, it's an interactive drama by Quantic Dream, where you play as Jodie Holmes, a young woman with a mysterious link to an otherworldly entity named Aiden. This bond gives her unique abilities, but it also isolates her from others, making her life a complex journey of trying to understand her own identity while navigating the challenges that come with her powers. The game's story is told in a non-linear fashion, jumping between different periods of Jodie's life, from her troubled childhood to her time in the CIA, to her attempts to escape a government determined to exploit her abilities. The episodic, fragmented storytelling adds a layer of intrigue as you piece together the events that have shaped Jodie's life, and Ellen Page's performance as Jodie adds real emotional depth, making every moment feel genuine and impactful. What sets Beyond Two Souls apart is the connection between Jodie and Aiden. You can switch between controlling Jodie and Aiden, with Aiden's abilities allowing you to interact with the world in unique ways, moving objects, protecting Jodie, or even influencing people's actions. This duality brings a fresh dynamic to the gameplay, blending supernatural abilities with a grounded, personal story. The game may not have appealed to everyone, but Beyond Two Souls is an unforgettable experience for those who love story-rich games. It's a game that invites you to walk in someone else's shoes to feel their struggles, and to confront the complexities of identity and connection. For anyone who values a game with a strong narrative and character-driven experience, Beyond Two Souls is a hidden gem worth revisiting. BlackWood Crossing.
None of them are any good! Finn!
BlackWood Crossing is a narrative-driven adventure that delves into the complexities of sibling relationships, grief, and the transition from childhood to adulthood. Released in 2017, this first-person game places you in the role of Scarlett, a teenager navigating a surreal journey alongside her younger brother Finn. What begins as an ordinary train ride quickly transforms into a magical and emotional odyssey, exploring themes of love, loss, and the bonds that tie us together. The game's storytelling is its standout feature. As Scarlett, you traverse a dreamlike world filled with symbolic puzzles and enigmatic characters, each representing facets of the siblings' shared past and inner turmoil. The narrative unfolds through environmental storytelling and interactions, allowing players to piece together the story's deeper meanings at their own pace. This approach creates an immersive experience that resonates emotionally, especially for those who have experienced the complexities of family dynamics.
It's called Finland.
Visually, BlackWood Crossing employs a vibrant art style that enhances its surreal atmosphere. The environments are richly detailed, blending the mundane with the fantastical to reflect the protagonist's emotional states. The character designs and animations further contribute to the game's unique aesthetic, making each scene visually engaging and thematically relevant. While the gameplay primarily focuses on exploration and puzzle solving, it's the emotional depth and narrative nuance that leave a lasting impression. BlackWood Crossing may not have garnered widespread attention upon its release, but for those who appreciate introspective storytelling and emotional journeys, it's a hidden gem worth experiencing.
What's he doing there? He wants to take you away from me. Please stay!
Last Day of June. Last Day of June is one of those games that quietly breaks your heart. Released in 2017, it's an emotional puzzle game that dives into themes of love, loss, and the longing to change the past. You play as Carl, a man grieving the tragic loss of his wife June in a car accident. Through a series of memories and paintings, you're given a chance to relive that day and try to change the events in the hope of saving her. But here's the thing, it's not a straightforward fix it and everything's fine kind of story. This game really leans into the complexity of loss, and every attempt to rewrite the past reveals new layers to Carl and June's story. The art style is simple yet beautiful, with characters that have these haunting eyeless faces which somehow makes them feel more universal, like they could be anyone. The visuals, paired with a stunning soundtrack by Steven Wilson, bring this dreamlike, almost melancholic vibe that keeps you feeling both hopeful and heartbroken as you play. What Last Day of June does so well is that it doesn't give easy answers or let you win at grief. Every new attempt to change the past brings a different kind of heartbreak or consequence, driving home the reality that some things can't just be fixed. But it's the journey of trying, of seeing Carl's undying love for June and his willingness to do anything to be with her again, that makes it feel so raw and human. It's one of those hidden gems that hits deep because it's not about saving the day, it's about confronting loss, cherishing memories, and finding closure in a way that feels painfully real. For anyone who appreciates narrative-driven games with a powerful emotional punch, Last Day of June is a must-play. It's a game that stays with you long after the credits roll as a gentle reminder of love's enduring strength and the acceptance that some things are beyond our control. Virginia. Virginia is a unique, dreamlike experience that blends mystery with surreal storytelling in a way few games dare to attempt. Released in 2016, it's a first-person adventure that feels like playing through a silent cinematic thriller. You play as Anne Tarver, a young FBI agent sent to investigate the disappearance of a boy in the small town of Kingdom, Virginia. But here's the twist, there's no dialogue at all. The story is told entirely through visuals, body language, and the game's hauntingly beautiful soundtrack, which brings this eerie, suspenseful mood to every scene. The lack of dialogue means that every gesture, every glance, and every cut in the cinematic pacing becomes incredibly important. It's like watching an old school detective show, but you're piecing together meaning through details and atmosphere rather than words. The visuals have this minimal, retro art style that makes each frame look like a perfectly crafted shot, and the story itself is cryptic, full of Lynchian twists and surreal scenes that blur the lines between reality and dreams. One of the game's strongest points is how it uses its silent storytelling to tackle themes of ambition, loyalty, and the cost of doing the right thing in a system that's far from perfect. It's a story with layers, leaving you to interpret the mystery not just of the missing boy, but of Anne's own internal struggles and relationships with her colleagues, especially her partner Maria. The game shifts in time and tone, making you question what's real and what's in Anne's head, creating an experience that's open to interpretation and worth a replay. Virginia isn't for everyone. It's slow, abstract, and unapologetically strange, but if you're open to a game that challenges traditional storytelling and invites you to look between the lines, Virginia is a beautiful, haunting journey that sticks with you. It's a hidden gem for those who love stories that leave you thinking, even after the screen fades to black. The White Door. The White Door is one of those quietly intense games that pulls you into the mind of someone trying to make sense of a fractured reality. Developed by Rusty Lake and released in 2020, it's a simple, minimalist game that combines point-and-click mechanics with an intimate, story-driven experience. You play as Robert Hill, a man suffering from severe memory loss who wakes up in a mental health facility. Each day follows a structured routine, but as you progress, you start uncovering pieces of Robert's past and the traumatic events that led him here. What makes The White Door so gripping is its blend of simplicity and depth. The black and white visuals are clean and stark, reflecting Robert's detached, broken mental state, while the split-screen layout gives a unique perspective on his daily life versus his memories. It's a fascinating approach that keeps you engaged, as one side of the screen represents the mundane routine and the other reveals the hidden emotions and memories trying to break through.
Know what to do, Mr. Hill.
The game has this haunting, almost hypnotic quality to it. The soundtrack and sound effects add to the eerie, unsettling atmosphere, making you feel like you're slowly unraveling a mystery that's both psychological and deeply personal. Each memory you uncover brings a piece of Robert's past back into focus, and by the end you feel like you've been on an emotional journey that's surprisingly raw for such a minimalist game. Night Call. Night Call is one of those rare games that dives into the noir genre with a fresh, modern twist. Released in 2019, it's a narrative-driven detective game where you're not some hardened detective or a street-tough investigator, you're a Parisian cab driver who's been pulled into a murder case as an unlikely informant. You're just trying to get by, driving through the quiet, dimly lit streets of Paris, picking up passengers who may know something or might be hiding something. The vibe in Nightcall is everything. Each passenger who steps into your cab brings their own story, their own secrets, and often their own pain. You're more than just a driver, you're an accidental confidant listening to people's stories and piecing together clues about a serial killer lurking in the city. And the game gives you freedom in how you approach each conversation, whether you're gentle, curious, or just quietly observant. Every interaction can reveal something new or keep a passenger closed off. The art style is pure noir, with black and white visuals and just the right amount of shadow, making every scene feel gritty and real. There's this sense of isolation, of being part of the city but removed from it, driving through its underbelly and hearing its heartbeat through the lives of the people you meet. The soundtrack is haunting, with soft jazz and ambient sounds that add to the game's intimate, late-night atmosphere. What makes Nightcall so unique is that it doesn't hand you the answers. You're not some action hero, just a person in a cab, navigating conversations, remembering details, and hoping you're making the right choices. It's a slow burn, and not everyone's story connects directly to the case, but that's what makes it feel real. It's a journey into the lives of strangers, and each playthrough brings something a little different. Nightcall is for those who love narrative depth and the quiet thrill of piecing together clues in a dark, introspective world. It's a moody, thoughtful game that doesn't need explosions or chases to hold you. It pulls you in with the power of human connection and the mystery that lingers in every ride through the city. It's one of those underrated gems that reminds you of the quiet power of storytelling. The Juggler's Tale. A juggler's tale feels like stepping into a dark, enchanting fairy tale brought to life. Released in 2021, it's a side-scrolling puzzle adventure that tells the story of Abby, a puppet trying to escape from a cruel world where her every move is controlled by strings. Set in a beautifully handcrafted theater-like world, the game immerses you in Abby's journey for freedom from her puppet master and the many obstacles that hold her back. The twist here is that Abby's strings aren't just symbolic, they're literally attached to her, meaning you have to navigate puzzles that take her limitations into account. Obstacles like branches or beams become tricky to pass as Abby's strings can get caught, forcing you to think creatively about how to help her move forward. It's a clever mechanic that reflects the game's deeper theme of control and freedom, making you feel Abby's struggle in every move she makes.
Free for the length of a staged fight.
The narration is like a storyteller weaving a tale for you, guiding Abby's journey while commenting on her every action. It's playful at times, but there's an unsettling edge to it, as if the narrator isn't entirely on Abby's side. This adds a layer of tension, as you're never quite sure if the narrator's helping or hindering her journey. The art style, with its storybook visuals and shadowy, atmospheric scenes, enhances the feeling that you're watching a puppet show with a haunting twist. A Juggler's Tale may not be widely known, but it's a memorable, heartfelt experience that dives into themes of independence and resilience in a beautifully subtle way. It's one of those games that reminds you of the power of storytelling, with puzzles that make you think and a narrative that lingers long after the curtains close.
Also hold you back. Sometimes life hangs on a thread.
And there you have it, 15 underrated gems that deserve way more attention. It's wild how some of these didn't make it to the mainstream considering how incredible they are. So if any of these titles caught your eye, give them a shot. And hey, if you've got your own hidden favorites that you think deserve a shout out, drop them in the comments. I'm always on the lookout for underrated games to try.
Is everything okay? Say what now? Oh, hi, Jarrett.